and welcome to Shinsōban, our little book club on the internet. I'm Jay and this is Bea.
Hello.
And today, I'm zooming in on Titan armpits and she's trying to follow my plot.
What does that mean? What does that
Uh,
mean?
if we can make it to that bit of the manga, you'll find out.
Are we gonna be
Um,
honest with the audience today?
yeah, this volume, plot-wise at least, was kind of a snooze fest.
It was quite literally a snooze fest. This is our second week of recording because the first week I fell asleep recording.
Yeah, we got about an hour into the recording and she woke up and she was like, "Oh wait, how long have you been talking for?" Then I realized that I'd been yapping for the last 35 minutes.
To be fair,
Um,
I was listening. I just micro sleeped a lot.
it was a micro sleep. If a micro sleep was just a sleep.
Thanks for that.
Would you like to tell the audience about your mic stand for the day?
Yes, of course. I've got a little 3.0 millimeter crochet hook with me.
How fancy. How fancy.
How about you?
I decided to copy you a little bit. You took a crochet hook as your mic stand, which is a hobby of yours. Uh, I decided to take a set of pliers, which are part of my hobby. I'm not telling you guys what it is. I'm not telling. Nah, I'm kidding. Modeling, like car models and stuff. I
Mm.
like them. So I'm just using my pliers as a mic stand. They're kind of flimsy, and it feels like if I don't hold it with all my fingers, the thing's gonna flop over. It's a great way to not fall asleep because I can't afford this mic getting damaged.
Yeah, that's true. And I can't fall
Yeah,
asleep either. Well, maybe I can, but I will not test that today.
we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. For all the shit we gave volume 3, it's not that it's so boring. It's just that compared to the first two volumes, it's not as boom shakalaka. Does that make sense?
I, th- I yeah, I think it's kind of like the first two volumes had a lot of setup to it. Volume three is kind of like getting into the meat and potatoes, but it's in a weird place where not enough is set up to get some deep lore, if you will.
Yes, yes.
We know enough about Titans eating humans, but we don't know enough to know if they have buttholes or not. Throwback to last episode.
We still don't know, guys. This is gonna haunt me
Yeah.
continually.
Is this why Volume 3 was a snooze fest for you? Because they didn't, like, reveal
Yeah, I was so waiting to
that.
find out if there were buttholes, and they just didn't
Yep.
tell me about the buttholes. And yeah,
It's a dilemma, to be
literally.
honest.
Yeah, you're right. But promise that today's episode will still be as interesting as possible.
Well, no promise. We hope.
Well, I'm gonna promise
um,
it. I will ensure
look,
it.
look. I can't promise shit because the last time I started spouting my weird theories, she fell asleep. So, so that I think that goes to show how interesting the episode originally was.
I hope you don't lord that over me, because I generally just was a sleepy girl.
Allegedly, she claims that she's forgotten half the shit I spouted, which is good because then maybe your reactions will be genuine.
What?
I'm not. What? Nothing. Nothing.
What?
I didn't say nothing. What? Who said that? That's crazy.
Who said that? But anyways,
Right?
let's get started. Should we?
Yeah. Why don't you start talking first so that you don't fall asleep because of my voice?
Yes, I'm on it. Okay, so we're starting off volume 3, which has chapters 10 to 13. And the first chapter, chapter 10, is titled What Happened to the Left Arm,
Interesting.
right?
Do you think they want to know so that they can break into Eren's iPhone? Like he probably has an older one where you need a thumbprint.
Yeah, he needs like the thumbprint to get into it because his Face ID doesn't work.
Yeah. Maybe he just has an older one. Like he didn't have the money for the newer one. He's a broke boy like me. He's just using his old iPhone 8.
But yeah, so we flash back to the scene of Eren's death, quote unquote, which is when he got eaten by the Titan, and
Yep.
that whole event witnessed by Armin. And but this time we kind of go on a journey into like Eren's perspective into it. He basically sinks into the stomach of the Titan and basically kind of go as any normal person would. He goes into an existential crisis because
Yep.
he's been eaten. um, so well deserved.
Me as fuck at 3 a.m. one day before my exams. I relate to this shit.
Just like actually crashing out, and like
Yup.
it makes sense, like this is kind of like the first event in this story where it's kind of like you've lost all hope for a character at least.
Yeah. I mean, shit's so bad he probably is crying mummy, as one of the text boxes
Did he
suggests.
actually say mommy? I thought it was the other person.
The text box is right next to Eren's head. It's not. There's another text box around the other person in the background. Okay, this text box is right next to Eren and no one else. So I want
Fair.
to say Eren cried for his mummy, and I respect that.
That's fair. I mean, if I was eaten by Titan, I reckon I'd call for my mommy too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Okay, and I think this is where we kind of see a display of Eren's like true spirit, because like even after this crash out, and he's like basically tweaking, right? He suddenly has this like
It's so funny to just describe Eren as crashing out
and
and
tweaking.
he's tweaking. It's not like he's just been eaten and he's like going towards certain death. Yeah, he's just crashing out, man. He's having a bad day.
He's just
Don't worry about
crashing
it.
out. But yeah, this is kind of where you see his
You say determination, I say psychopathy. Look at this man. He's going on a rant about how he's gonna destroy all of them, every last one, and he's literally getting digested.
To be
What
fair,
is this dude?
if a Titan ate me and I still had unfinished business, I too would want to destroy all of them.
Okay, but like, what is this dude yapping about?
It's almost like deep
Can we?
down he knew he was the main character.
Yeah. Do you reckon that's what Grisha told him in the basement? Eren, you are the main character. You just have plot armor, bro.
Maybe. Grisha is actually just like the author in disguise, written in.
Yeah, he's kind of like the equivalent of like Deadpool, but for Attack on Titan. He just breaks the fourth wall.
Somehow, Eren transforms into his Titan version, right? We see that because his Titan fist suddenly comes out of the Titan's mouth, like the Titan that he was
Yeah,
in. And my big question here is, how does Armin not see this entire fist come out of his mouth?
I don't know how to explain it. The man was just going through it, all right?
Like I realized now that I'm looking at the panel that Armin's like staring at it, like he's right there. To be fair, he probably doesn't know what he's looking at. Like it's not like the first thing on your mind would be, oh yeah, my friend turned into a Titan and then started punching out of this Titan's mouth, right?
Yeah, I like. I mean, maybe they thought it was like how Titans give birth, or like something.
It would be insane if they gave birth to the mouth, though. To be fair, like upwards instead of.
I mean, yeah, that'd be kind of weird. But then again, you have stuff like sharks, where, like in great white sharks, when they have kids, they're born live, but they're inside the mother's uterus and they eat their way out. That's what
Really?
this is giving. Yeah, that's what this is giving.
I
Like,
think last week you mentioned a really good point. This is similar to Tokyo Ghoul, the egg.
yeah, yes, it's similar to one of the poems in Tokyo Ghoul, one of my favorite poems by Hermann Hesse. It's called Der Mayan. It talks about uh, I forget the exact wording, but the gist of it is for a bird to be born, it needs to break the egg it's trapped within, but at that point, the egg is a world around it.
Like now that I think about it, I remember you mentioned this last week, and now that I think about it more, I think it's really fitting to Eren's. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I think it's very fitting to Eren's situation. Like for him to actually be
Yeah.
born, quote unquote, into a world where he can actually create change and have like lasting impact. He actually has to be to break the confines of what he actually knew to be his entire world, which is him being human. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just realized as you were kind of explaining your view, I realized that Hermann Hesse's Timaean kind of has a twofold meaning in this. So one is a very literal meaning of Eren, breaking out of the egg that was the Titan he was within.
Oh yes.
And another way this poem or quote applies is if you consider humanity living inside the walls as the only world it knows, that's sort of a protective egg as well, which has
Oh.
been broken by the Titans. And, that's how humanity is growing. Like, we're learning that Eren can become a Titan. Humanity's knowledge is increasing. Their capability to fight is increasing, technically, now, possibly. So, the egg is not only the Titan that Eren was inside, but also quite literally the last remnants of civilization being trapped within the walls, which have been broken by Big Chungus, our beloved.
Big Chungus. But you're right. We can also link that back to if for example Eren is an a perfect example of, the bird breaking out of the egg. I think if we relate humanity and its physical walls, and those being forcefully broken down from the outside, it also seems to be pretty related to like humanity as a whole in this story refusing to grow or evolve.
Yeah. Also, not to mention, the one party that constantly goes outside said walls, guess what their symbol is? A pair of fucking wings.
Oh.
The Scouting Legion. So, they're the birds that are continuously breaking out of their eggs. They're going outside, seeing the outside world. Sure, they're kind of like dying, but they're growing.
Yeah, like the whole purpose is to like it's basically to avoid stagnancy.
Yeah. But then again, I guess this calls into question, like, do you think the author so far is trying to make us as readers believe that humanity shouldn't go outside, considering the few characters that strongly relate to going outside are either shown as weak, which is Armin, or dying, which was Eren so far, well, before he was reborn as a Titan, and the Scouting Legion, who also keep dying. So is the author kind of advocating for stagnancy and conservative?
That's that's an interesting point to make. Like personally, I think what do you think?
Um, I think I want to say that the author is kind of playing like devil's advocate of sorts. But not exactly in like the normal way. It's kind of in reverse. Like he's kind of showing the bad side of being the bird that breaks the world. But then also like Eren's clearly the main character. He has plot armor,
Yeah.
so he is advocating for breaking the world and fighting its way out. You know.
Yeah.
Can we get some? Can we get some Tokyo Ghoul OSC in the back?
It's copyrighted, so I just have to sing
Yeah, I'll play it really badly on like guitar or something, and then you can just add it in.
it. Never mind. No, no, no.
Yeah,
All you have is me singing it. That's all you're gonna get.
I'll take that. I'll take that. That was a good rendition.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. Actually, hold on. What do you think about the author? Do you reckon the author is advocating for stagnancy or progressivism?
I think the author is a sadist who who shows
Welcome to Attack on Titan. The author is a sadist.
end of episode actually. What I mean to say is like I mean what I say. It's kind of like he wants to show that there's no there's no perfect outcome. It's
Hmm.
almost luck.
Interesting.
It's like who you which side of the wall you were born in. Like were if you were placed in a position of power, if you're like strong enough, determined enough. It's like really a really sad way to think about it, but I think it's the most realistic way. I reckon that's what he's trying to show right now. Because like
That's interesting. That kind of directly goes against shonen manga as a whole, doesn't it? If you think about it.
it does.
Like, look at the big three. You got One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach. The OG big three. They're all about. Well, okay, maybe not Bleach, but Naruto especially is all about like, oh yeah, hard work. You'll get somewhere. But oh, actually, the more I think about it, you're right. That is exactly what shonen manga is about.
Really, I've
That's
just cracked the code of shonen manga.
You really have. Like, think about it, right? Naruto, born lucky. Well, okay,
Uh,
unlucky given like born lucky in the sense that he was born with like a big ass monster inside of him. He was born in a clan with lots of power. He was born as the son of like the ninja president. Similarly, Bleach, Ichigo's born to like a Shinigami father and a Quincy mother, so he already has that. He has his full bringer powers because his mother was attacked by a Hollow. You look at Dragon Ball and Goku's like born a Saiyan, and he was somehow luckily found by the one person who's a really good master martial artist, and then he started learning under the other really good martial artist. I think you're right. I think the author is just calling out shonen manga in general here.
yeah, and I feel like the difference is though is that like for example Bleach, um, you can see that there's a discrepancy in the power levels between like the main character and the other people, but it's not like
Yeah.
that costly
What do you
as
mean costly?
like people dying like in the first.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go on.
I don't have anything else to contribute to that
Okay.
point.
But I think that's interesting. You know what? You've changed my mind. I think the author is a sadist, and the author is very specifically mocking shonen manga. That's my new take.
Is it really? I'm glad to be of service to that point of view. I love being devil's advocate. I'm the actual
you
plot
were
twist. I'm the
you were
devil's
the real
advocate.
devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the actual topic at
Yes.
hand.
Yeah. So now we get introduced to this little gremlin of a titan. The
Gremlin guy. I love him.
gremlin titan. He's just like a little guy, but
I
also
like his little squat. It's giving Asian poop squat.
I know if any of the titans are Asian, it has to be this one. No, but to be fair, he's squatting down with his heels up. Like they have to be heels on the ground. So maybe
Okay,
he's
look.
Asian.
Am I Asian? I can't squat with my heels down.
I can't do the Asian squat. I can't do the genuine Asian squat either. But the true Asian squat is like feet flat on the ground.
The canonical Asian squat.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like my parents can do it. I can't do it. I've tried so many times.
Are we Asian?
We are Asian.
We're Asian.
He's doing
For the audience, this
he's
would be
doing like a half squat.
for the audience. This would be really funny if you guys know what we look like.
I actually have like blonde hair.
Yeah, blue
Um,
eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and Bay is actually like a brunette, like a
Like
really light
honey
brunette.
caramel hair.
Yeah, and green eyes. Yep.
Yep, and I totally burn when I tan.
Yeah. I actually can't go out in the sun because
Are
the
you a
SPF
vampire?
burns my. Yeah, that's how big the W in Asian is for me. It's so big it looks like a V, so
Oh
I'm
my
like a
gosh.
vampire.
The V stands for vampire.
Yeah. Back to the squatting gremlin guy.
Yeah.
Our favorite Titan so far? Would you say?
He unfortunately does not last long because Eren kind of beats him to shit.
Yeah, he just fucking punches him in the throat, but the punch ends up going through the throat.
Yeah, which is a shame because he seemed like a nice, just a dude, just a
He's
dude,
just a dude.
He's just a
He
dude.
probably ate humans, dude. Like, what do you
That's
mean, just
true.
a dude?
That's true. I don't know.
That's a
I was just looking out for the underdog. Yeah.
okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Um,
I can relate to that.
and we see Aaron here like verbally saying like, well, in his head, mentally saying like, kill again. I want to kill more. Like, and then we cut to him like actually, in his normal state now as a human, and
Mhm.
he's like mumbling to himself as he wakes up, I'm gonna kill them all. Like, I'm gonna kill all of them. I'm gonna kill them dead. And Armin's there like, excuse me, like he's just
It's I don't know if anyone in our audience has ever seen it, but there's a series, an animated series of Legend of Zelda. It's a really infamous series. There's a famous line of Link going, "Well, excuse me, princess." That's what this is giving, but reverse. Cause Armin's our little Zelda, I reckon.
yeah, you know what? I can see that.
He has the blonde, flowy hair as well. So
He just needs to grow it out, get some
yeah,
pointy ears.
yeah. As we already like theorized, Armin is like the Triforce of wisdom, and then we got Triforce of power, Mikasa, Ganondorf, and then we got Triforce of bravery, Eren, Link.
Exactly.
So
Except
this-
Link has to like turn into like a gigantic, like 15-foot version of himself, 15-meter version of himself.
look, every Link is slightly different. Most Links are like mute. This Link is turns into big ass Titan. You know, he's just quirky. He's just quirky like that.
Yeah, he's not like other Links. Okay, anyways,
Sorry.
we see the what do we call this trio?
The Shonen Trio.
The Shonen trio,
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm gonna
gang,
call them.
the guys.
Uh,
No, not the guys.
just the trio is fine. We keep the
Mikasa and
trio.
bitches. Like,
The Mikasa and bitches. Is that because you're a Mikasa fangirl?
yes, for now at least.
Was
I
it?
hope she doesn't turn evil or something in the end.
You mean like how Ganondorf is evil? You hope she doesn't.
Yeah,
Was I hinting at something last episode, do you reckon? With calling her Ganondorf?
I don't know.
I think it should be Armin and bitches, personally.
Armin and bitches, I could get behind that. Okay,
You know, because his
before
name starts with an A.
true,
Like, alphabetically.
Armin and the bitches.
Armin and the bitches, yeah.
Yeah, and we see our trio surrounded by all the officers, right?
Yep.
And Armin's like checking up on him, and basically Eren is like coming to terms with that, the fact that like whatever he was dreaming, whatever he thought he was dreaming, wasn't actually a dream and was real, and he actually did turn into a Titan. Yep. And then there's this is that a captain?
I think so. He's not given a name. I tried scouring the internet, but
Like a commander, captain, who basically just
yeah.
demands to find out like whether Eren is a Titan or a human, because like
Yep.
a lot of people saw him transform back into a human. And
Yeah.
Mikasa, like, he says that he is, but it feels like the captain's already kind of made up his mind.
In the captain's defense, to play a little bit of a devil's advocate, you find a criminal doing crime. Is the criminal gonna say, yes, I was committing the crime? Or is he gonna be like, oh no, I'm just a little guy. Leave me out of this.
That's fair, actually. Yeah, like,
Right?
in his defense,
Like
yes, you're right.
I don't think you can really like see it as anything else. That's just me though.
Yeah. So I think Eren is like coming to terms with like, oh my gosh, like this is the situation. I don't know how I'm doing this, how I did that, but I definitely did that. Yeah, it's basically
A lot of yapping.
a lot of yapping, a lot of the captain saying like, it's clear why there's so much distrust, right? Because
Yep.
like it wouldn't make sense for him to believe this guy's like statement saying that he's fully human when clearly he turned into a Titan. But because this is our trio, of course we have to we have to root for them, of course. And
I wanted to make a callback to last episode, I believe. You mentioned this concept of a distrustful narrator or like a untrustworthy
oh, the
narrator.
unreliable narrator. Yes.
Yes, the unreliable narrator. This commander dude, he says he kind of implies or like he compares Eren becoming a Titan to like the little tiny armored Titan that we saw back in volume 1 and 2. He had like a really brief appearance. And also the big colossal Titan. He like compares Eren's Titan to both of them, saying like, "Oh, like, your Titan was an anomaly. These two Titans were an anomaly." And he kind of like hints that there's a link between the three.
I didn't actually pick up on that. I see what you mean. Like there is a possibility that they could be grouped together somehow, but maybe
Yeah.
because like of their physicalities, and because we know Eren personally, I didn't actually consider that those titans specifically could come from like the same origin event.
Yeah, because he says right now Walrose is being breached by titans of an unknown type, like you. And the next thing, well, on the very next page, he talks about the armored titan who destroyed Wall Maria and how the armored titan could appear again. I don't think, does he mention the Colossus Titan? I don't think he does.
He does. He has like 5 years after Big Chunga's attack.
Yeah, which is like pretty interesting. So like, what if we are still experiencing the whole unreliable narrative thing, and humanity knows more than it's letting on, or this guy knows more than he's letting on.
Actually, I think you're onto something. I less because of like this captain. Is it the captain dude that you're talking about?
Yeah,
Knowing
yeah.
something, but more of like because we're so new to the world, we don't realize that people like Big Chungus, and who's the other one?
People like big chuggers. I just see the fucking image of fat Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, it like
The armored titan, the Colossus Titan, and the armored titan.
to us they're like, oh yes, this is just a variation of a titan, but to these people who have been here for like
107 years.
107 years, like this is genuinely like a brand new titan. That's insane.
Yeah,
It's like if you
yeah.
had different cats, and then suddenly a 10-foot cat suddenly appeared, right? you know
Okay, but hear me out. Imagine the 10-foot cat like curls up right next to you and then it starts purring. That would be like the cutest thing ever. I'm
that
just
is
saying.
true.
I would invite. I would
You
invite
would
if it was a
invite
10-foot cat.
you would invite where? Like what do you mean?
I would invite it into my house.
You
Like,
would invite
come on in. I got you snacks, buddy. The snacks may be human food, but I will feed you.
Big cat Gus.
Big cat Gus. Okay.
But yes,
Uh.
so I feel like that
Mhm.
also may have been like a not really a misdirection, but like a subtle push from the author that these all might be from one occurrence. Because we still don't know what's in the basement, do we?
I'm telling you, in the basement,
Huh?
Grisha told Eren that he has plot armor. That's all it was. I'm telling you.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, so they decide the trio starts figuring out if they should actually flee, and
Hmm.
Aaron notices like the key around his neck, which and then he suddenly has this insane flashback, right? That his dad Grisha gave it to him. Basically, he says you must reconquer Wall Maria and reach that basement, and the power, like some whatever Aaron's power is supposed to be useful then.
The power is most likely referring to his Titan,
Titan form, yes, which is
right?
insane because this is 5 years ago, right?
Yeah. So, do you reckon Grisha is also a Titan shapeshifter or something?
This is my theory at the moment, right?
Okay.
I don't.
This is your game theory.
Yes, this is my game theory. Are we gonna get sued for that?
No, it's a joke. It's a joke. We're not branding ourselves as game theory or anime theory. It's just a theory. A game theory. Go on.
Ugh.
Sorry.
um okay, so my theory is that because of like the nature that they introduce Aaron's dad, Grisha,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that one of the characters mentioned that, he suddenly arrived out of nowhere, makes me
Yep.
think that if he had to have an origin that was not from outside, because I don't think it's from outside, that'll be insane.
Okay.
I think he may have been like a doctor,
Like a mad scientist
a
type
mad
shit.
scientist
Type shit.
slash
Uh
doctor
huh.
from the innermost walls, like,
Mm-hmm.
working for the king.
Yep.
Maybe figured out some like way to make people into titans, but that scared
Yep.
off a lot of like important people, and he got banished.
Interesting.
Maybe. And
But
on that note,
okay.
I don't think he's a titan because I feel like he has to, like, in pursuit of perfecting it. If he was the one who made people into titans, like, I don't think
Yep.
he would like risk losing all the no- all like all the intellectual property by making himself a titan.
Okay. But I would like to challenge your theory. So you say that he was potentially banished from the inner walls.
Yeah.
If he was banished, we already have suspicions that the inner wall and the king, basically the government, has been killing people, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but in episode 2, that's one of the things we kind of theorize about, like how do they do population control? So, don't you think if he was banished from the inner walls, he'd be killed?
Maybe, but also if in the future, like if his skills were still could still prove useful, maybe he was just kept around, and then like
Okay,
let fate decide.
okay, but what about this? What if he can't be killed, like physically can't be killed, because
He's a titan.
yep,
Okay, you're onto something. You're onto something.
thanks. It's almost like I've read this before. I'm not telling you if that's true or not, though. I might be fucking with you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You are here to play like the real devil advocate.
I am the devil's advocate. But that is something to think about, I think, especially for our readers. Actually, it'd be kind of cool to hear what kind of theories you guys have about Grisha so far. Like, where did the Titans come from? Who started it? Are the other Titans also just humans pretending to be Titans? Where is a Titan's butthole? All
Yes,
questions that we have no answers to.
that's the most important one, right?
Yeah, I like seriously. How do they take a shit? Like the food's got to go somewhere. Come on.
True. On that note as well, I'd love if we do have more people who come, like, listen to our theories and conspiracies. I think it would be fun to hear theirs as well. We'll have to see. It really depends on if we end up building a community out of this in the future.
That's true.
Okay. So but yeah, just to go back
um.
on the topic of the unreliable narrator, we see we see Grisha. We realize that the whatever Grisha injected Eren with is causing like memory loss, which is why,
Mhm.
yes, last week we were talking about the unreliable narrator and how that like opens up a lot of avenues for like avenues of possibility for this story and for the author, because now, like, we have to take everything that Eren believes slash says slash perceives in consideration. Like, for example, is this whole manga from Eren's perspective?
Mm,
Whose perspective
that's
are we
true.
actually looking at? Does it
Mhm.
change? You know, like those kind of things, and maybe there are certain nuances that we can only find out like as the story progresses. So that would be interesting.
You know what this reminds me of? There's this book I read a while back. I actually read it for high school English, but I really enjoyed it. It was called I believe it was called Obsidio. Hold on, I'll double check this. Give me a second. Oh, the Illuminae Files. That's the series. I believe I've told you about this one before, but For our non-book enthusiasts, I think this book is kind of like the poster child for unreliable narrator. That's what this reminds me of, because you don't know whose perspective the whole story is told from, and half the shit is redacted.
Mm,
So if anyone would like to enjoy more unreliable narrator content, that's that. The Illuminae files.
yeah, for sure. Jay's recommended me the Illuminate files for years and years,
She's not ready yet.
but that's that's less because of like me not wanting to read it and more because I have not been reading. So that is definitely on the list.
When was the last time I read a book for fun? I don't remember.
Did you try reading House of Leaves or something like that?
Yeah, yes, I tried reading two books. Three books.
Oh,
I tried reading the Institution by Stephen King. I tried reading House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski, and Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance by Robert M. Persig. Those are the three books I've tried reading. I've finished absolutely none of them.
it's okay. It's so hard to like get through a book, like a whole novel now, for me personally. So
Yeah, I need some Subway Surfers on the side, guys.
literally, like I need like those
Am
bounce.
I?
I need those bouncing fruits. Like you know that one, like the YouTube
Yeah, the one
bouncing
that
fruit.
looks like Tetris.
No, no, no. It's like just like it's like fruits with faces who are just bouncing to music.
I have genuinely never seen that level of.
Okay, after this, for the record, after this recording, I'm going to show Jay some bouncing fruit.
Okay, guys. Next episode, I'm gonna have like Subway Surfers on one side of my screen. I'm gonna have the call in the middle. I'm gonna have the script right below it, and I'm gonna have the bouncing fruits on the other side of the screen.
Yeah,
So that's the goal.
the natural way of life.
uh, of course, of course.
Okay,
Um,
so but yes, so I think Eren's like if ever they have scenes or chapters where it's specifically Eren's perspective, that'll be interesting because we would have to consider unreliable narrator if we remember,
mm,
because you know. Okay, so based on this, like sudden memory reclamation,
yeah,
Eren like instinctively bites the inside of his hand, like his palm, like the meaty part of his hand, and which draws blood, and then he instantly like transforms, like there's like a lot of smoke, and then we see that Armin and Mikasa are in this gigantic like skeleton like titan with like a single eye, which is like
yeah.
insane. You know what? It's giving. I'm so sorry to keep bringing this back to Tokyo Ghoul, but it's giving
It's
the one
giving
eyed.
Kaneki.
Oh yes, that, but also like the one eyed ghoul, like
The one-eyed king.
yeah, the one eyed king.
Yes, yes, it keeps coming back. You know what? I just realized the biggest relation to Tokyo Ghoul, the Titans eat humans. They're human-shaped monsters. They look like humans. They eat humans.
Are titans just ghouls?
What if Attack on Titan's a prequel and the sequel is Tokyo Ghoul, and by Tokyo Ghoul all the Titans are hiding as humans because they're tiny for safety. That's why they only like human meat. But why the coffee? That's what I want to know. Why the coffee? Coming off of
that was
the
such an insane
weird.
theory. I didn't even know what to say to it.
Yeah, I wasn't joking when I said I'll be doing the devil's advocate role.
Yeah, you didn't hold
uh,
back with that one.
Actually, to add on to this unhinged theory even more, there is this rule of in biology where basically if an animal doesn't have a predator, as time goes on, every generation will be bigger than the previous one ever so slightly. So, this is applying that theory in reverse. Just
You
saying,
know,
because there's
I've never heard of that theory, but
you haven't.
it kind of just made me start thinking like, you know how if we talk about food chains, right? Like our society's
Yeah.
food chain, like humans are at the very top. We're like apex predator. We hunt down almost all the animals.
Yep.
So, you know what? Like if that's like a theory or concept or principle that the author has heard, it would make sense why titans exist. evolutionarily wise.
Yeah, that's true. Um, I can't remember the name of this theory, but it's a really famous theory. It's why quokkas, even though they're part of the rodent family, they're huge because they don't have any natural predators.
I love quokkas.
Yeah, so quokkas, wombats, they don't have like if actually the easiest way you can see this theory in play is a bunch of mantises, I believe. There's an island where there's absolutely no predators for this mantis, and they're like straight up like 20% bigger than your average mantis.
Really?
Yeah, I think the theory is called like ultra maxism or something like that. Anyways, in the meantime, why don't you keep telling us about the volume?
So now we're going on to chapter 11, which is called response, which is basically it basically covers kind of like, the military response to whatever's happening with Eren. So we've got the return of Hans, and he's basically talking to one of his like friends, talking about how like he's not super worried about our trio like Armin, Eren, Mikasa, because like we mentioned, I can't believe we didn't really foreshadow this, but we were kind of discussing this in a previous episode, where each member has something vital and unique to give to the team, and that's why they like as a trio they work so well together because they have such strong defined qualities
Rolls.
or like yeah, special qualities about
Yep.
them. So when you combine all of that, it's almost like they are the perfect team. Yeah, so I think that was a pretty nice thing to consider. And then
Uh huh.
after that we cut to like the recruits all kind of talking, kind of not really crashing out, like not an Aaron crash out, but kind of just like slowly losing hope in everything. They hear the cannon
Yep.
shot that was meant to
The
kill Eren from,
yes.
yeah, and they hear that from outside, like the place, the arena or whatever. So they're like they rush to see what it is because they see the smoke, and the smoke it usually signifies, a titan's existence or like appearance.
Yep.
As the recruits rush to observe like the commotion, we see the skeleton, this insane skeleton looking thing. And not only that, we see like not only do we see the external part of it, we actually see Eren inside the Titan.
It's such a gory kind of look.
Yes, he's like encapsulated in like I want to say muscle,
Yeah.
like the muscle that is
So.
at the back of like the
Mm,
neck, like where the neck and the shoulders meet, like, and he's just entrapped in that muscle, like he's basically fused with the Titan, which makes me is like what is his power? Like I don't understand it. Like
you know, I would like to add some stuff here. I don't know how interesting this will be to listen to, honestly, because I'm just a yapper. But so I'm currently doing like learning a bit of neuroscience on the side to my subjects at uni. So I was just thinking about this the other day actually, like what the relationship, like why is it the nape of the neck? Um, so in volume 2, the manga kind of tells us where all the soldiers kind of need to aim to cut a titan, like to kill a titan completely. The area they point out is specifically the brain stem, so like the area that connects the brain to the spinal cord. And more specifically, like just around that area, just above that area, is a production of something called cerebrospinal fluid, which kind of like protects your brain and your spine all at once. It's kind of meant to be like a little gel cushion.
so it's like the connection point of the brain and the body, but also
Yeah.
protects both things.
Yeah. To damage the Titan and where Eren seems to be located within a Titan, he's kind of like part of this whole mechanism of connecting the brain, which is his own brain, presumably, to like a Titan's body. And part of his body forms a protective barrier around that. I'm assuming.
This makes me wonder if the reason why Eren can become a Titan isn't technically because he is one, but more of like his ability to channel. This is so nerdy, but like by being in that specific area in the Titan, let's say the injection was for him to be able to like withstand the fusion to the Titan, so that not bypassing the Titan's brain, but kind of like, does that make
He's
sense?
kind of completing the circuit.
Yes, like
Is that what?
he's using himself to complete the circuit, or maybe he's adding to that circuit, which is why he can control the Titan. Like this is on the assumption that the Titan is like a fleshy mech, like we talked about the last
You
time.
know, that's so interesting considering the two times he's been able to produce a Titan so far has been out of pain, which is a brain signal, which again leads back to that whole brainstem because the PNS, haha, penis,
Oh my
the
god, no!
the PNS, the periphery nervous system, connects to the brain near the brainstem. Like that's where the CNS and the PNS meet. The central nervous system, which is related to your brain and your spinal cord, and your periphery nervous system, which relates to the rest of your body, come and meet at the brainstem specifically. So, your theory holds a lot of weight.
Hmm.
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 Oh, by the way, the phenomena I was talking about where apex predators end up growing larger in size, it's called island gigantism. So, over evolutionary timescales, the selective pressure for being small or hiding is reduced, which leads to um, them basically kind of growing bigger in size.
Fair enough.
Did you have fun playing devil's advocate there? Doing a little theory crafting?
I love making theories. I'm just a conspiracy theorist at heart.
But, looking at it, yes, Eren is quite literally fused to the brainstem or the spinal cord.
Yeah, so I feel
Um,
like whatever Grisha's injection was, or like, yeah, the syringe, whatever was in the syringe, it wasn't as phenomenal as making Eren a Titan.
so are you saying it's like a pain inhibitor?
Not even a pain inhibitor, because I feel like he feels pain, no?
Yeah, to an extent, but he seems to survive boiling heat, like boiling steam. And boiling steam is hot. If you didn't know, the boiling temperature of water is 100 degrees Celsius. So I don't think that's a really comfortable place to be in. And all he really says is it's hot. What the hell? What the hell?
You could be right about the pain inhibitors, or he could also just be able to withstand it. I don't know how, but yeah,
Mm.
up to interpretation until we find
Captain,
out more.
release my pain inhibitors. From for all my Metal Gear homies out there, it's from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. There's a character who gets stronger when he feels pain, so he says, "Captain, release my pain inhibitors."
Oh my gosh. That's a tough line. Release my
Yeah,
pain inhibitors.
he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy.
We see Eren escaping the Titan through the back of the nape, like
Yep.
as we expected him to be there. And he quickly warns his friends that like apparently like any other Titan corpse, it will evaporate as it dies. Eren tells the his besties about the basement and is convinced
Mm-hmm.
there is a truth to the Titans.
Okay.
Basically Eren again crashing out about his dad's decisions, like why did he do this? Like he's tweaking again.
Is it really fair to call it a crash out?
Eren is the master tweaker. Yeah. Why go on drugs when you can have like a dad who just mysteriously injected you with something and now you can turn into a titan?
What if his dad injected him with drugs?
It probably was drugs. But yeah. So the three plan their escape. Becomes clear that Aaron's powers can adapt to his needs basically, right?
Yep.
Like he can transform based on like the size that he needs, what like structurally what he needs. But we can see that the transformations come at the cost of his own body. So I think
Yeah.
that's where your theory comes in, right? About like, is it pain receptor inhibition? Like is he just not feeling, like when he's inside a titan, does he just not feel the pain and the the severity, like it actually inflicts, the severity of the pain that actually inflicts on his body as like a connector to this circuit.
But then again, it could also be a part of his character trait because he is reckless and excitable. So maybe, he gets like a little adrenaline rush and he doesn't have the realization that he's actually hurt.
I'd love to get some answers about this, but I'm just not sure how long they're gonna keep this a mystery. Especially with Grisha being gone right now.
Can you imagine if they never tell you the mystery? Like, how would you react if you reach the end of Attack on Titan and they just never explain why Eren becomes Titan or how a Titan works?
Oh my god! Oh my god! That would actually be the biggest rage bait. Like I'm
That'd actually be
actually
so
imagining it
funny.
right now, and I'm getting mad. Like,
Like, do you reckon that's why the people hated the ending of Attack on Titan so much a few years ago when it came out finally?
like they just left it on a cliffhanger.
No, not even a cliffhanger. They just said, "Yeah, I'm not telling you anything," and they just finished the story.
Be the wildest thing, actually.
The end of Attack on Titan is Eren dies for real,
The
and he
the
can't come back as a Titan anymore.
the last panel of the manga is just like, and then everyone woke up.
I would crash out. That would be my crash out.
I too would start tweaking.
Actually, hold on. Before you continue, I am very upset. You really glazed over one of my favorite parts about this chapter, which is back when the rest of the trainees hear the cannonball and the smoke. Just before that, Sasha's being told to like go back on duty. And she just says, "Can you count me amongst the wounded? My tummy hurts."
Oh my god, she's a queen. You know what? She's representative of all the girls in a situation who would have tummy problems. One of those people being me. So I love Sasha.
You know what I'd tell you? You know what I'd tell you in that
What?
situation? I'd ask you if you had enough water,
What?
because your tummy hurts.
Yeah,
Have you?
when my tummy
Oh
hurts.
wait, that's a headache. Sorry, I got my aches mixed up. Did you
Yeah.
take a shit? That's what I'd ask you. Did you take a shit?
It probably be my lactose intolerance, actually.
But yeah, it really reminded me of this shit post I saw from Halo where it's like, I don't know if you guys know Master Chief. He's like this tall, like 9 foot tall guy who
What?
kills aliens in one hit. Yeah, it's from a game called Halo, right?
Yeah, okay.
And there's a shit post where he's talking to his commander, and all he says is, "Commander, my tummy hurt." That's all it is. End of transition.
I love it. I love it. Me, if I was a
That's what
9 foot person hunting whatever.
aliens in space. Yeah,
Literally.
that's how I see Sasha. She's my Master Chief.
Yeah, I love that.
Can you count me again? Can you count me amongst the wounded? My tummy hurts. That's
My
so real.
my apologies for skipping over Sasha. Did not know her game like that. Sasha's actually so tough.
Yeah, she gets honorable mention from me for this volume's MVP. By the way,
Yeah.
she's a queen.
She's an icon. Like the
She really is.
first appearance steals food from whoever. Second appearance has tummy ache.
Yeah, I really hope I wish this manga was centered around her and not Eren. I don't want to know more about Eren. I want to know more about Sasha. How's she living? How's she coping?
How is she stealing all these food?
What's her favorite food?
I hope it's cheese.
Why do you hope it's cheese? You can't eat cheese.
Because I quite relate to Sasha, and I hope it's cheese.
Anyways, back to
Back to
the
your regularly scheduled.
Shinsōban.
Yeah.
I really like this moment that I very rudely interrupted to talk about Sasha. It's a very cutesy moment of Armin. He's kind of having like this little like, "Hey, my friends like me."
It's honestly so relatable, where it's kind of like, oh, do my friends actually like me, or are they just keeping me around? And then him actually realizing, no, they do want me, and they do want me for
Yeah.
me, you know.
Yeah, it's so adorable. I absolutely love this moment. It's probably one of the sweetest moments so far.
And I feel like
Um,
being able to relate to, like, whatever Armin was talking about, like it kind of reminds it's like a sobering reminder that they're like 15, 16.
yeah, like they're just kids.
These are children, teenagers, like you know, not derogatory. Sorry, I said that so derogatory in such a derogatory way. Like, did you know what you were doing
Yeah.
at 16, 15?
When I was 16, what was I doing?
Gosh,
What year was I?
that was
That
like
was that
year
that was
10.
Oh, when I was Oh, I remember what I was doing when I was 16. When I was 16, my hair was actually blonde.
Oh my gosh, you were Asian then.
Yeah, I
You're
was the real Asian.
you were Asian back when you were 16.
I I was blonde, and the only reason Bear noticed me was because I was blonde and really irritating in the library.
It was in the library. Okay, yeah, this is my genuine. Oh my gosh, a little sidetrack. This is my genuine first encounter with Jay, all the way back in 2021. 2020?
The big
2021.
2020 21. Yeah.
2021. I didn't know him then. It would be like a good 6 months, 6 to 8 months before I'd even met him for the first time properly. But I remember seeing this like tall guy with blonde-ish hair, just like yapping. I don't know if you were yapping or nothing. You're just standing there with you being a 6 foot guy in the canteen, and
I was
I
I
took that
wasn't 6 foot
personally.
then.
I took that personally.
Yeah, it really hurt you
Yeah,
seeing as you weren't blonde or 6 foot or a
yeah.
guy.
I took it so personally. Like I cataloged that experience in my head.
You
Waited.
know, you know what's the funniest part? She didn't even know it was me because by the time I officially met her, my hair was back to not being blonde. So,
Yeah. So I never clocked you for that person until
till I showed you my ID card from
Yeah.
year
Yeah.
11.
Literally. Insane
to
work.
be fair, to be fair, that's very similar to how I also first met my best friend. They thought I was really irritating as well because I was in the middle of the library playing Smash Bros with my friends during lunch, and this person's first thought was, "God, why doesn't he ever shut the fuck up? This is a library."
Yeah.
Um,
So
I'm aware of the effect I have on people. That's all I'm gonna say.
it's a universal effect. Like when people see
Yeah,
Jay, it's like, why the fuck does he not shut the fuck up?
yeah. I mean, this is why I am the yapper in this podcast so far.
That's true. That's true. This is why you're a great fit here.
Yeah.
There's no
In
podcast without the
this,
yapper.
exactly. Thank you, thank you. I truly feel like I found my home.
Yeah.
Lord Ump aside, we're up to Armin realizing that his friends believe in him and that he's not useless. So me coded.
And and Eren tells the gang that he has like two plans to get out of this
Hmm.
situation, and not surprisingly, but in a quite endearing way, because he trusts Armin as the team's strategist to make the decision. So he has two plans, which is to either stay and convince the military they're not actually a threat and possibly
Hmm.
could be an ally, or escape on their own terms, basically at the risk of their lives.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is where Armin gets his little redemption arc. Finally gets a little bit more purpose in the story.
He gets past the BM stuff and he actually becomes a real character for once.
Yeah, like he's actually, I can perceive him now. Like
He's not bitch made anymore, guys.
he basically runs and reasons with the captain, makes a heartfelt speech, does like the perfect salute, a crisp salute, and
Crisp.
talking about like the possibilities that opens up it with their like offense if like they take on Eren
Hmm.
with
Yeah.
his abilities. And the chapter basically ends with the arrival of a bald man. um it's never common peace when there's an arrival of a bald man.
I just want to say, in my life, real life
What?
and media consumption,
Where is this going?
I've seen three bald men, and all three bald men have seemingly been really powerful.
Is there just something really powerful when you get rid of the thing that's covering your bald head?
You mean hair?
Like, yeah, the scalp.
Oh, you don't want to say for the bald people who are listening to this, like to hurt them.
To all the bald people out there.
It's called the bald buff, the BB.
What?
You know how they say when you lose like one of your senses, the rest of your senses get stronger to compensate for it. That's what's happening. So when you lose your hair, your aura increases, so that you can aura farm harder.
Like when your hair follicles stop working, so they
Yeah.
start sending your chakra like really strongly towards your body. Like, is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that why One Punch Man?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm fucking saying. Okay, look. You got Saitama, One Punch Man, bold, fucking strong as shit. You got Hitman 47, Agent 47 from Hitman, bold, strong as shit. You got this bold fucker, aura farming, strong as shit,
Aura
possibly? Question
farming.
mark.
It's aura farming.
He is aura farming. He's
Nah.
like, look, he comes in and he's like, I just arrived, but the situation was relayed to me by a rider. That's what I imagine his voice is like. I've not seen the anime.
He's doing that Thailand boat dance, like the little guy.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, bald man enters the picture.
Bald man.
We know things are happening. Things are happening. We love bald man. We love bald man.
So now, with our aura farming bald man, we enter chapter 12,
Oh
the
god.
penultimate chapter of this volume.
Yeah.
We get a little bit of a lore dump about Mr. Baldman. Can I just say something really quickly?
Yeah.
When I saw this bald guy, you know what was the first thought I had over there in my head?
I'm scared to ask, but what was it?
Bodie, over there. What's it like to have no air? Is it or is it cold? I don't know, cause I'm not bold.
Oh my god.
That was unironically the first thought I had when I saw this guy, and I am so proud of myself.
Honestly, yeah, you should be proud of yourself for that.
I don't know if we're gonna edit out me singing this and replace it with the original like
No,
TikTok.
we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it.
No,
If you're gonna
I
keep my oh shit, yeah, you're gonna have to. We're gonna have to keep that one.
uh okay, I guess that's fine. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah. All I was gonna say is
I was
that.
the winning.
Yep. Okay. All I was gonna say was that the chapter is called Icon, and that's exactly what this bald man is.
Yeah. Unless it's referring to Sasha.
Imagine if Sasha was bald. Never mind.
It's got the same energy as like imagine Vegeta was bald or imagine Goku was bald. I don't know if you've seen either of those images. They're so cursed.
Okay. Yeah. So we learn, just like Jay said, we learn a bit more about Pixis.
Mhm.
He's the highest ranked administrator of the southern region. Also, he's kind of just insane. He was like, "Oh, if I'm gonna be eaten by a titan, I hope it's a lady, like a female titan."
He's so real for that. I love this guy.
Proper icon.
Can I reveal this already? He's my MVP for this volume.
Really? Is he actually?
He's my MVP. He's so fucking real for that. This man shows up, frame fucking one. He just goes, if I get eaten by a titan, I hope it's a baddie, and that's so base. I'm telling you,
It's a
this
baddie.
bold this bold man is aura farming to the max, and I'm here for it. I'm eating this shit up.
He wants like a hottie to eat him up. Okay.
He's so real for that. Like,
Yeah,
come
that's so
on. If
valid.
you had to be eaten and killed by someone, like, wouldn't you want them to be hot?
That's fair. You wouldn't want like a Chad.
Like, imagine like being killed by like a fucking cockroach. That's like so depressing.
You're right. You're right. He's also really open to like quite unconventional ideas. Like, for example,
Mm.
Eren being a titan, possibly being able to assist like the military with their operations, and basically wastes no time challenging Eren and our Armin Mikasa with the task of
Yep.
plugging the breach section of the wall that was broken by Big Chungus.
Yep.
So at this point there's obviously like a lot of distrust and unrest among the other citizens in the military. We see that like as people are coming together to get like the operation started. And just something that I noticed, like there was someone mentioning about how they want to have control about like and they want to have control over the way they die, even though it seems like an operation in which they will die. Like they don't want to go, like even though they know that their lives are gonna end, they want to basically choose the way they go down. I think it's quite interesting. Like it's another side of humanity per se. Like even though there's like a false sense of freedom, we still reach for it.
Yeah.
Like just something to hold on to, like a belief.
Like a little hope.
Yeah, that there's still like some
Yeah.
sort of agency that you can have. Kind of encapsulates the outlook of like society in general. It's like
Hmm.
they're like happy and not happy at the same time behind the walls, but
Yeah.
like they're okay be with staying in the confines, not growing. And once that's not available anymore, and once they're like, fated to die, they're like they want to go feeling like they've accomplished something, or that their lives have
Yeah.
meaning, or that they chose the way they died.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like a strained existence of sorts. Like you can't live outside the walls, so you're settling to live inside the walls, but it kind of reminds me of this idea of what my English teacher in high school used to call the human condition, where you need to have like some sort of sense of autonomy. As you said, like they want to choose where they die because they can't choose how they live. Also, this section introduces a character I dislike so fucking much. It made me think of introducing a new portion to this show. I'm calling it this volume's LVP,
LVP.
least fucking valued player, and it's this one trainee named Daz, the sniveling little shit. I dislike him so much I cannot begin telling you.
Do you want to verbalize this?
Yeah. Okay. So this little dipstick of a human being appears in exactly two scenes so far, right?
Yeah.
The first scene he appears is around the time when Sasha appears. When Eren's shot with the cannonball and Eren becomes like a titan with only like one eye. He becomes the one-eyed
Yeah.
king from Tokyo Ghoul. Um,
Literally.
so I think it's Jamie, I believe. The one of the guys who's like kind of like leading the other trainees around, and like kind of taking leadership. He tells Daz to like help the wounded, and Daz just starts like fucking snot crying, like like he's got snot pouring out of his nose. He's ugly crying to the fucking max about like, I don't want to die, I don't want to do this, no, I've seen enough. Fuck you, all right, dude. Fuck you. Sasha had a tummy ache. She had a good reason to not want to do anything. Not
Literally.
Daz, okay?
Literally, you.
And this whole like talk about like humans wanting to choose where they die. It's Daz again. The little dipstick is ugly crying yet again.
God forbid a guy just want to cry. What happened?
Look, I am all for guys crying, okay? Eren crying was an emotional scene. Cause guess what? He actually wanted to do shit. Okay? I respect Eren for that. He was ugly crying because all his life dreams went away. This guy, this motherfucker, he's had two scenes. He's been known for two whole scenes, and those two scenes have been him crying.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's all. That's his whole character. I hate him.
He
He's
had
the LVP.
he had 2 seconds to shine and he did not shine.
The only thing that shined in his 2 seconds were his fucking tears. Yeah, I have strong feelings about this character.
Thank you for that first submission for LVP in this show.
Honestly, yeah, I don't think a single character irritates me this much as Daz did in 2 chapters.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this kind of like nuanced presentation of humans, I guess, because like up until now they have shown like people losing hope, people giving up, and like also like people being motivated, but it's not been like official in like huge quotation marks, but if you will, like the first time we see people getting really pumped up is it's just the trainees. They're getting pumped up because Eren said some shit, and then Mikasa also said some shit. Like it you can kind of equate that to like just kids like hyping themselves up.
Yeah.
And then similarly, like back in volume 2, it's like I think it was like Connie and the other people in the supply house. They locked themselves up and they started like killing themselves. Like, yeah, that was really grim, but it's not like in this scenario. There's kind of like a conflict going on between like the more disciplined soldiers who understand their job and they know like, yeah, there's no choice. Like you have to follow orders, and there's a kind of opposition from the younger soldiers and also like within the older soldiers themselves, like where you kind of get to see like, yeah, they're soldiers who follow orders regardless, but at the end of the day they are also very much human and they just want to be with their families and they want to go back, which is pretty cool. I think I really like the personification or like the humanization of these characters.
Mm, I know what you mean. Like it's not realistic for all of them to just suddenly be like, "Oh yes, you want us to die for you? Sure." Like, no problem, bald guy. Like, like
Baldy baldy.
yeah, no problem, baldy. But yeah, you're right.
So rude.
I
But
know.
yes.
For like the icon of the volume, apart from Sasha, yeah, we're really rude. Pixis
You know what?
addresses, huh?
Can we highlight this character's name is literally Dot Pixels. That's his government name.
Yeah, literally dot Pixis.
Some mother gave birth to him and was like, you know what? I'm naming this kid a fucking period. He's gonna be Dot.
Honestly, period. That's why such an icon.
That's why it's called Icon. I get
It's
it.
always serving cunt.
But yes, go on.
Okay, yeah. So Pixis addresses soldiers, announces military. So basically, the way that they're trying to um reshape this narrative is that it's actually the military's doing, right. They're
Mm.
carrying out experiments on humans to like try and have them shapeshift into titans, which is a
Yep.
really intelligent way to like make sure that the public doesn't go batshit insane. But also it also makes me wonder, like, I don't know if just this is just Pixis being like an icon and being like really really good at what he does, but has
Uh-huh.
this workaround been used before? Like it seems like he seems like this feels like standard protocol,
Yeah, like he's a bit too used to it.
for something that technically we're, at least from what we believe, it's like a first time thing.
I actually have a bunch of. So first of all, this is kind of like bleeding from like chapter 11 till now. Um
Mm-hmm.
okay, you know what? Usually I like to introduce my theories by like talking about the evidence surrounding it. This time I'm going to start off by just stating it. Eren is Jesus Christ. That's my
Hello.
theory. Right? That sounds insane, but okay, hear me out. Hear me out. So, he's kind of like this do-gooder, right?
Okay.
He sacrifices himself while saving humanity,
Yeah.
which is Armin. And I have a good reason to call Armin equivalent of humanity, which I'll get into later. This is like super unhinged territory.
Yeah.
He comes back.
This is
He
proper
comes
like,
back from the dead,
okay.
right? He comes back from the dead. And the next job he does is Armin calls him the savior of humanity. And then Pixis, bald man, comes in and he's like, Eren is a savior of humanity.
So he's like a prophet.
Yeah, so tell me that's not what Jesus Christ did. I'm not a Christian, by the way. I have no idea what Jesus Christ did.
This is so like unprecedented.
No, okay. I'm not trying to make this political or anything, right? Like according to the Bible, Jesus Christ would like heal people, right? And he sacrificed himself
Is
on the
Jesus a
cross.
titan?
I mean, who knows, you know? Uh but look, he sacrificed himself. He came back to Earth. He was like, I don't know, he was like revived.
Yeah.
Um and then that's when he was accepted as a savior of humanity, which is kind of like the exact same plot that Aaron's following.
You know what? That seems very like like what the fuck and out of nowhere. But if you try and frame that in a more like in a more literary sense, I reckon there is something to be said there about the biblical connotations of Eren coming back as a savior,
Yeah.
as a titan, like a renewed form. Again, like the breaking of the egg, breaking of the world.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
he's literally born out of a titan, right? Like also he has like okay, this is gonna like yeah, it's I think that's very interesting, and the reason like going back to at the start of when I said the series, the reason I call Armin like the stand-in for humanity, quote unquote, is I don't know if you guys or if you Bear have ever read Lord of the Flies
I
or even
haven't.
analyze it.
But
You haven't?
I know the
Okay.
premise though.
Okay, so in Lord of the Flies, there's this one character who's nicknamed Piggy, right? And Piggy, for the whole story, kind of, uh, he represents like the idea of like intelligence and science in general, where he's like, oh guys, what if we, find a like make a SOS signal to find a way off this island, and over the course of the narrative, his role kind of evolves to representing humanity itself, like within the boys trapped on the island, because pretty much half the boys are ready to like give up and like the eating raw meat and they're going Loki kind of insane,
Yeah.
and Piggy's like the last bastion of sanity or humanity within that group. There's Armin kind of reminds me of that. Like he constantly talks about going outside. Like if you really try to be an unhinged theorist like me, you can kind of compare humanity's like the world as kind of like an island of themselves. And he's always trying to talk about going to the outside world. As a kid, we see him getting bullied, being called a heretic for thinking about the outside world. And he takes on a similar role of being like the intelligence of the group. And Eren sacrifices himself to save Armin out of a titan's mouth.
Yeah.
So if you somehow link Lord of the Flies, the Bible, and Attack on Titan together, you, you get the theory Eren is Jesus Christ.
You know what? There we go. Eren is
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
This is what my year 12 English teacher would call an absolute reach with no evidence. um
But instead of saying Jesus Christ, I reckon Eren is poised to look like a god. Yes.
right? Like he holds the power of like the biggest like the worst enemy out there. And he's seemingly working for humanity.
Actually, while you were on this topic, kind of like the whole thing about how he was created by his father, just like how God created his son.
Yeah.
It's so there is
Like
it gets really biblical to some extent. I can see that being
right?
like a thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you could take this kind of like theory further and you could Loki bring like Greek mythology into this. You've got humans fighting against titans. Um we had in Greek mythology you had the Greek gods fighting against titans as well.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the titans were out to eat the gods in that. So I'm just saying there's quite a lot of religious or mystical motifs going on. For a manga that's like okay, I know it's not the most realistic, but it's clearly got some grounding in reality to an extent.
Yes,
Like,
you're right.
you know, we've got like the whole brain stem thing with the Titans going on. We've got um a bunch of like politics and stuff. Coming back a bit more to saner grounds, like taking a little bit of a dip from the insanity, going back into the sane realms. I do want to mention um as Pixis talks to Eren, he kind of he says he calls the story of like humanity being saved 107 years ago a fairy tale. And I don't know if you remember, but in episode 2 I mentioned how this story of like humanity being saved exactly 107 years ago feels a bit too specific for a number.
Yeah, yeah.
It kind of like reminds me of that. It's a narrative that's been shared with all of humanity and now with us, and we're taking it at face value. But you've got Pixis and Eren who kind of like refer to it as a fairy tale, and Pixis says like, "Oh, if you think the same way as I do, your mind's kind of deranged," um, which was pretty interesting. I think Pixis knows a bit more than he's letting on, which goes back to that unreliable narrator aspect.
Yes, I
Um,
know what you mean. Like a new character, don't know his origins, where his like loyalties lie,
and he's bald.
and his bald. Like he may
Yeah,
not be able to keep his secrets in his hair, but maybe that's why his hair dropped off.
exactly.
So basically, Pixis tells us the strategy, right?
Yeah.
The military is gonna distract the Titans. Well, Eren in his Titan form fixes the wall, and
Mm.
we see that he gives the soldiers a chance to leave, and so they can enjoy what's left of the time with their family, but reminding them as well that like if you do that, those who leave are allowing their family and loved ones to experience the terrors that supposed to be protecting them from.
I do want to highlight this section. I think it's pretty interesting because um so when Pixis gives the option for people to leave, he kind of like implicitly obviously threatens every soldier's friends and family by stating like, "Oh yeah, you can desert the call, but then, we're going to come after your friends and your family." Back when I mentioned like, "Oh yeah, he talks about like this fairy tale." The specific fairy tale he's referring to is that he kind of implies that like, oh well, before the Titans were a thing, humans used to fight wars within themselves, and so and there was this theory going around at the time that if there was this really huge enemy, or like a really powerful enemy, not a huge enemy, sorry, that came and threatened all of humanity, humanity would kind of like band together, and that's a part that he calls a fairy tale.
Yeah, that the fact
Uh,
that humans would actually get together behind a cause.
yeah. Um, I have like two questions to pose to you. So first of all, as we mentioned, um, obviously, if you have a limited land space, the very grim reality is at one point you will have to deal with being overcrowded, and you will have to cull people to maintain like enough living space within the walls. So the way he speaks so freely about um like um humanity trying like being able to work together as like a fairy tale of sorts, and the way he like so calmly threatens people, do you reckon he's like involved in the culling, like the population control, if you will, which is like a politer way of saying it? Like, do you reckon he's part of that?
I didn't give it much thought before, but I feel like considering his status and like the amount of power he has, I'm not surprised if he is like, directly involved with schemes like that. It just makes sense, like
Mm.
the the higher ups are usually the people who do like the dirty work. Like
Yeah,
the work that people don't consider has to go into like maintaining, society as it is right now.
yeah, and also obviously we see like a lot of internal conflict within soldiers, like they're not one big monolith of cohesion. There's like a lot of friction between like older soldiers, newer soldiers, and even like soldiers within similar ranks. Like you see some soldiers wanting to go home. um do you reckon the culling that Pixis hints at, the that's like the infighting he mentions to Eren, like Um, so instead of like, outrightly taking people to get executed, it's more of his job as a commander is to like maybe plant seeds of doubt within soldiers, and because we see in like one of the previous pages, one of the soldiers says, "I have the authority to cut you down." He says it to Daz, the little shit, when Daz is like crying about wanting to leave. Um, do you reckon he's um kind of like leveraging that fact that like older soldiers are much more disciplined and harsh. So like anyone who's kind of like not fit to be a soldier in quotation marks, is kind of like being placed against these harsher soldiers. It's like you fit the code or you're not part of humanity, basically. It's like a more sneaky way of controlling population.
I fuck with that theory. I like that theory.
It does give his aura farming a lot of credibility. Like,
Yeah, like the scale of it is quite difficult to like get wrap around, but you know what? Theory's a theory. An observation I wanted to make is like, you know how this relates again to like the conversation we had about Eren being a god of some sort. He does
mm,
become, instead of, he does become this like symbol of hope, as well as like with the current like framing of his condition, like this symbol of progression. You know how like the soldiers will explore outside and come back just like bloodied and wounded, and without
yeah,
actually having um accomplished anything. I feel like if anything, Aaron becomes this symbol that actually there has been progression just in the shadows. And
yeah.
I don't know how convincing Pixies was, but maybe it was like half the beauty of like it was that like people really wanted to believe that there was something being done, right?
Isn't there like a saying like people will believe any lie as long as they want to believe it?
Yes, yes, that one specifically. Like as long as the beautiful lie is convincing enough and something desirable enough, they will convince themselves.
Yeah.
No problem.
That's pretty interesting. I like that. Um, I guess that kind of shows, even though people like will readily brand someone like Armin as a heretic for wanting to go outside, deep down everyone wants to go outside.
Yes.
It really plays on the sense of community and safety, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, like the only reason there was so much backlash is because like, the horrors that associated with going outside.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that you mentioned as well about like, what humanity is going to come down to, like because Pixies also brings up that if like the second wall, yeah, if Wall Rose gets breached and humanity is again like forced to, retreat to the final inner wall Sheena, the lack of resources to go like meet everyone's
I thought
needs.
I thought Walrose had been breached.
It has been breached, as in like if it becomes overridden like Val Maria. I know everyone's evacuated right now, but like it's in the hopes that Eren's gonna fix this wall, and then they're gonna be able to kill all the titans inside, and get back to living in the same space. But
Yeah.
yeah, the one thing I want to mention was like Pixie's like warning, like failure isn't an option here, because we're gonna have to turn on each other if we actually have to retreat to like that one final wall. And I think that's quite interesting because like obviously he's seen like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Pixis, maybe stuff that made his head go bald. I don't know.
He went bald from the stress.
Literally, and I think this goes back to the whole, what Aaron was saying, like very start of this story, like we're animals stuck in a bird cage, that kind of vibe. Like
Yeah.
end of the day, like humans aren't like this um almighty, like better than anyone else, better than any living thing. At the end they were like they're humans, as they're humans are animals as well. It's kind of what I
Yeah.
was getting at there.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, um it reminds me of this saying. I don't know the exact one. It's like the only difference between a like a pack of rabid wolves and humans is the law, like a social agreement that we won't hurt each other as long as we both follow the same code of conduct. I don't know if you've ever
Yes,
heard of it.
I've heard of something like that. Like
I think it's from JJK that I'm quoting.
really.
Yeah, it's a scene where Fushiguro beats up some people, and he says that the difference between like being an animal and being a part of society is living under the understanding that I won't hurt you if you don't hurt me. It's something like that.
Yeah, and I think Pixis warns them specifically about this because I feel like they've been antagonizing the Titans because although they look like humans, they obviously they characterize them as like other beings because they act like they don't have that empathy or they're not capable of like following those rules. So
Yeah.
if humanity comes to a point where they actually have to start turning on each other, then it's almost like saying that humans and Titans are the same, and I feel like that's something so confronting to them.
I think the impact is also doubled because they literally just found out that Eren is a human who becomes a Titan. He's kind of like, again, going back to Tokyo Ghoul, he's the one person who's a part of both worlds.
And the line, yeah, and the line between the two groups starts to blur, and that
Yeah.
causes so much like unrest because you
Yeah.
have to come to terms, both groups, well, at least in this case, in the Tokyo Ghoul case, like people have to come to terms with the fact that like both the humans and the ghouls have to come to terms that this is possible. But for this story, humans have to come to terms that maybe they aren't so much different than the
Yeah.
Titans. But yeah, Aaron also thinks about like his role that he's playing in this whole elaborate scheme, like realizing that his success, his ability to be like the middle person, genuinely in the middle of humans and Titans,
Yeah.
will allow humankind to quote unquote claim its first victory. Like morale wise, this is like a key pivotal moment.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So this is
Hmm.
how we find Eren again transformed into his Titan form, but before he even gets to do anything, he locks eyes with Mikasa and like fucking punches her.
Yes. At the start of the episode, I said, I'm zooming in on Titan's armpits,
Uh
and
huh. Oh, is this
this
it?
punch. This is it. Yes, you're finally learning why I was zooming in on Titan armpits. So the reason for this is if our readers are following, or listeners, sorry, are following along at home. Um, so we're on page 43, which is the penultimate page of the chapter, I believe. Yeah. Um, if you zoom in to just below Eren's armpits, there's like a row of houses, right?
Yeah.
And you can see two shadowy figures standing outside a window in the background,
Oh yes, I see it.
right?
Like they're
But
just
so
watching.
I saw this, right? And I was like, that's a really weird detail. And I scanned the rest of the page. No other window has been given this detail. There's no people looking out from the inside. And if you look at the silhouette, it's really hard to see, but from the few pixels on my screen, what I can tell is they're not looking out from the inside. They're on the outside of the window.
Are they
Um,
actually?
yeah, so if you zoom in,
Wait,
the window seems.
are we talking about the one above the barrel? Cuz I don't know what's above the barrel.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
So from what I understand, right, this window seems to stop at around the shoulders. Like you can see the window
Yep, they're
sill,
definitely outside. They're in that
right?
barrel.
But they're standing inside or behind said barrels.
Yes. Now that I'm looking at it,
These
it's
two
so
people
fucking creepy.
aren't they're not cowering behind the barrels. They're standing upright.
What are they
Of
doing?
course, yeah, exactly. It's so uncanny and so fucking weird because the only other people, like, okay, at first I saw this and I was like, that's really creepy. I wonder why. And then I tried to gaslight myself into saying, oh, maybe it's not anything weird because you do see like two people on the roof in the background as well of the same like house.
Yes,
But
yes.
those are probably going to be like soldiers in the area, like
Yeah, yeah.
other
Like
like
they're
trainees.
scoping.
These guys aren't on the roof. You physically cannot land between a wall and two barrels or within a barrel as a soldier. Like, not unless you fuck up somehow, right? The only time we've seen people like land within like a barrel or like something like that is like, for example, when Mikasa ran out of gas and she fell onto like a shop roof and then fell down.
Yeah.
These guys haven't fallen down. They're like just two dudes hanging out. It's so such a weird little detail, and I really don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, I have no clue what that is too, but now I'm noticing it. It's so weird. Because now that I'm looking at the panels for the next chapter, they're still there.
Are they? I didn't even notice.
So
Wait, really?
when you go to like the next chapter and it's like Eren retreating his arm
Oh
to
yeah, yeah,
punch.
yeah. You're right. They're
There's
still
they're
there.
still there.
Yeah, they haven't moved. The people on the roofs in the previous chapter did move. Oh, by the way, the second page we see them is page 4 of chapter 13, which is labeled wound.
They're clearly still there. Who are these?
Right? I'm so glad you agree with me because
That's such a weird detail to have.
full transparency, I've read this manga before, right? I've finished it all the way to the end. I don't think I remember these two. Like it unironically feels like I'm seeing these two for the first time there.
Really?
Also, not to mention, this district they're in is meant to be abandoned.
Yeah, everyone was supposed to have that evacuated by now.
Yeah, so no one's meant to be living here. So even if they were inside the house, who the fuck are they? How have they lived in a Titan infested zone?
Makes you wonder.
Creepy mysteries from Attack on Titan to stay up to.
Okay, that's gonna keep me up at night now.
Yeah, I'm glad
No, that's
I wasn't
definitely
going
that's
insane.
intentional.
It's not like, maybe like um Hajime Sayama lifted in as a meme, or like someone else doing like some like helping them out with the artwork, like just lifted in for funsies. No, it's specifically, it's not like a Kilroy was here type of shit, type of Easter egg. It's like two people specifically placed there because the background's changed.
Yeah, it's not even the same panels in two different chapters. This is like a separate panel in the next chapter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and so Eren's Titan poses, like the pose Eren's Titan is in, has changed. You see other people moving around. The two people who were on the roof near these two figures have moved from there. They're not there anymore. The angle of the shot has also changed. So, unless this the background was rendered in 3D and then like drawn over, which I really doubt it. This is fucked up. Why are there two people in a seemingly uninhabited zone
Yeah, there's
just
something there. There's
just
something not.
vibing and seemingly unfazed after a Titan appears out of nowhere, punches a soldier, and then punches himself.
Yeah, like clearly not in the right mind, right? Continues trying to attack Mikasa, which in his right mind would definitely not happen.
Mm.
Mikasa's fighting back, tries to talk some sense into him, doesn't really work, and yeah, he hits himself, right? And he just kind
Yes.
of slumps down.
Do you reckon? Do you reckon this goes back to the theory of possibly what Grisha injected into Eren was like pain inhibitors, but at the same time the inhibition of pain is kind of suppressing his humanity?
I think that's a really interesting theory to have because I reckon, like, you know how we were talking about what differentiates humans from animals, and I think
Mm.
one of those things is kind of like personally ability to empathize with other people.
Yeah.
So if you're
Yeah.
saying that, then that could be like a genuine like theory that like it does something not just like physically but also emotionally, that if you are losing key emotions and are genuinely unable to feel them, then that creates like animalistic tendencies. I can see that definitely being like a thing.
Yeah, especially because in chapter 12, we see like Aaron. Is it chapter 12, right? Or 11, where he like mumbles, like, oh, I'll kill them all.
Yeah, 11.
Um,
Oh wait, yeah,
yeah.
think so. Like
It's one of the two, right? Like when he
first
comes out of the
chapter of the
Titan.
volume, yeah.
It's within this volume earlier also. You kind of like see Aaron very gleefully saying, I'll kill them all. Um,
Mm.
which like obviously a normal human wouldn't. Like, regardless of the context, no one's really going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to kill people.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
To me, that really lends credence to the theory that, oh hey, maybe the injection that Grisha gave him, like, it inhibited his pain, like not only like physical pain, but maybe like shut down the center that processes pain in general.
I would totally love to see what the biological reasoning is for, his abilities.
Yeah, it would be super interesting. But yes, please go on.
Now that we see like Eren basically kind of, wreaking havoc, not really in the right mind, we see like the other military personnel kind of willing to raise the white flag, like this is not going to work out. But the teams kind of directly assisting Eren still want to help him. And, like end of the day, he's human, they're human. And also they're talking about his potential. His potential is worth like whatever lives they give up for it, for the cause.
Yeah, I want to say this. So at the start of like at the start of this chapter, Pixis is talking about like how he doesn't consider like the loss of 20% of the soldiers as like a loss. It's more like they died by their own choice. And it's a really cold and calculated way to look at it, which like makes sense for a commander. And then the last line he says while talking is, "I'm willing to become a butcher." And the scene that's going on in the background is Eren punching Mikasa, which to me kind of shows like a little parallel being drawn between the characters of Pixis and Eren, especially because in the previous chapter Pixis states how Eren's mind is just as twisted as his own, and now it's specifically showing Eren as a Titan who has no humanity. Clearly, because he punches Mikasa, he punches himself. He's happy to kill people. He's an animal, basically, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like throwing a lot of red flags to me about Pixis. Like, what kind of
Yes.
a person is he to be compared so almost blatantly to like Eren as a Titan?
Yeah. End of the day, you need to be someone ruthless to end up becoming like, one of the most influential, most powerful people in like was it Trust? The name of the
Yes, I
yeah.
believe so.
So I can totally see just like how like when Eren was kind of like shifting from Titan to human, that kind of like just raw violent imagery, violent speech. I could see how that when you relate that to Pixis, that could also be a like an indicator of something like pretty nefarious there.
Yeah, it was very interesting to me. Like, I don't know. As I said, I think I said this in episode 2 or maybe 1. In high school, my English teacher used to say I really enjoy reaching to weird conclusions. It's not a good thing, but I enjoy it. And this is, I feel like this is not as much of a reach, but yeah,
Yeah. Eren regains like some form of consciousness somehow and starts it's insanely starts hallucinating about him and his family being in their like house, like the one that
yeah,
got destroyed. And Mikasa and the rest of the tactical team continue to fight the different titans, but she notices that they strangely get attracted to Eren's presence. I mean, maybe not that strange. Like, I think it still goes to show that at the core, like Eren's still human. Maybe that's why
yeah,
there's still like this is just like for example, if the bacon that you wanted to eat suddenly like became a like human sized, you'd kind of be attracted to the bacon, no?
I wouldn't know. I don't eat bacon, so
If the cauliflower was like
cheese. Excuse you. If the cheese I wanted to eat became human size, yes, I would be attracted to
yeah.
it.
So Mikasa and Armin reconvene, and Mikasa tells Armin that Eren has no control on the Titan. Like, so it's kind of like a mission fail, right?
Yeah.
Um, and Armin, being like the insane like big brain that he is, thinks back to
He's brain maxing, dude. He's brain
literally,
maxing.
literally, and he thinks back to like Eren coming out of like the specific like weak spot of the Titan.
Yeah.
So he basically risks his life, gets on top on the back of the Titan of Eren Titan form, and basically kind of like tries to carve him out of that spot, right? But he
Yeah.
stabs. This is insane. He stabs through Eren's arm, which kind of
Yeah.
like kind of like slowly wakes him up, but not quite yet. We kind of see in the hallucination Armin is able to infiltrate, and it's like from the outside window looking in.
He's kind of like lucid dreaming.
Yeah, yeah,
So basically, Armin starts talking to Eren as Eren's kind of like in this hallucination, and the way he perceives Armin is kind of like outside his house, and they're having a real time conversation of sorts. I don't think Eren is actually responding to Armin, but essentially, Armin is trying to tell Eren that like you promised to show me the outside world, and like if you fall asleep here, how are we going to ever have that chance to go to the outside world to fight? And that kind of like jolts Eren back into action, and that's kind of where it ends off. It's just that Armin's kind of reminding Eren about like you were going to exterminate the Titans, they killed your mom, and Eren's still in his hallucination. He keeps saying like, "My mom's right here. What do you mean?" And
yeah.
um, that's the end of Volume 4.
Yeah. Actually, before we finish this off, I have a theory suddenly, just from
Oh,
like
okay.
just from like looking at a panel that like while you were kind of closing off the
Recapping.
chapter. Um
Yep.
yeah, so we see like Eren obviously was not in control of the Titan. Titan's kind of just slumped there, and Armin's trying so hard to like reach Eren, and he's like, and Armin's like, you need to get out of this this Titan form, right?
Yep.
And then clearly you can see that Eren's kind of like groggy, kind of like disoriented, doesn't know
Yeah.
where he is, and he's like, I feel like sleeping.
Yeah.
And do we remember what he was doing at the very start of the story? He was like sleeping, and he was like,
Oh shit.
it feels like I've woken up from a really long nap. So does that mean that prior to even Big Chungus and everything, like has has he already been, you know,
Transforming into a
somehow
Titan.
like dormant powers? I don't
But
know.
then, but then, how would you explain the fact that no one came to attack him as a Titan? Like Mikasa was right there.
Here's the thing though, unreliable narrator.
That is true. You know, it reminds me of this one scene from Naruto where like a similar thing happens. Um it's like a flashback scene of like Naruto training with Jiraiya, and Naruto loses control of his powers, and he kind of like goes berserk. And when he wakes up, Jiraiya says, "Hey, someone just attacked us, and you got conked out." He doesn't actually say to Naruto that it was your fault that I broke 3 ribs.
Oh,
It's kind of got that same vibe of
yeah.
like, what if Mikasa's protecting him?
Right? Like I wouldn't be surprised if of all the people who knew like Mikasa somehow knowing Eren had maybe like that, like he wasn't transforming yet, but clearly there's something wrong.
But okay, let me challenge your theory there.
Okay.
So we know for a fact that Eren was injected by the syringe after the first attack 5 years ago, right? Because
Do we know that
there's a
though?
flashback. Yes, we do, because there's a flashback in Volume 2 where Eren is being manhandled by Grisha with the syringe in his hand,
Oh, because like
and Eren
and that
says,
was after Big Chungus.
"Yeah." Eren specifically says, "You've been acting weird ever since Mom died."
Yeah. Okay.
And then in this volume, we're given a flashback of Eren being injected, and Grisha's saying, "After I inject you with this, you're gonna experience memory loss. You're gonna experience like a bunch of side effects, but you're gonna have to control these powers." He specifically, at least in my translation, he specifically says, "You're gonna have to control these powers," right?
Yeah.
So to me, what that says is the syringe is what enables the powers. So if that's the case, why would Eren be falling asleep 5 years in the past in 8:45 when he hadn't been injected yet? That's what I'm asking.
Well, that's it really depends on what's the injection supposed to serve, right? Like we don't really fully understand the full capabilities or his full powers. So
That's true.
for all intents and purposes, this might not be his powers. Like him being able to become a titan. Like those might not be like what the injection was meant to do.
So, if that's the case, what do you think the injection was meant to do? Was it just to make him forget stuff?
Maybe not forget stuff, but maybe somehow keep his conscious mind if he
Hmm.
when he turns into a titan. For example, almost like a werewolf, let's say.
Okay. I'm not sure I'm following.
We're talking like Harry Potter, okay?
Okay.
Like Professor Lupin, he turns into a werewolf,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
Professor Snape makes this potion for him to drink so that at least like when he physically transform into a werewolf, he actually still keeps his mind intact.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't get impacted by the transformation. So it's like his sanity, even though the physical
Yep.
transformation is affecting him. So in the sense, like if like Grisha found out that Eren was able to somehow, for some reason, turn into a titan or like use a titan's powers, you know. So using that syringe thing gives him a shot at actually, retaining those like consciousness, but at the same
But
time,
mhm,
like it's a mental thing. Like if that affects his brain, it could affect like memory stores and stuff like that.
I'd like to ask you something. If that's the case, like he's meant to retain his consciousness, it clearly didn't work this time, right? Like he just sees, uh, like as soon as he forms into a titan, the first thing he does is attack Mikasa. So he's not like his consciousness doesn't survive the transformation. Then the first time he transforms, uh, he does go after titans, but it doesn't feel intentional. It's like he's just picking a fight with whoever comes in his way. Does that make sense? Like he's going berserk.
Yeah.
I think that kind of disproves the theory of maybe the syringe was meant to help him like keep his mind in control when he transforms.
Yeah, I'm not super sure about the specifics of the syringe. I think I'd just like to focus on the fact that I think two different, wait, no, not two different occasions. Yeah, two different occasions where Eren wakes up from a transformation having felt like a really long sleep, almost like a dream, in this volume alone.
That is true.
And then he when the whole introduction to Eren's character from the very start was like him waking up almost as if it's been like a really really long dream.
Can I add on to that?
Yeah.
The the two times in this volume he's woken up, they've been connected to very strong emotions he's felt. So the first time was rage against the Titans, right?
Yeah.
Like he felt a lot of anger and then satisfaction that he could actually squish the Titans. The second time was love for his mother, which we know he feels a lot, and he like really dearly misses his family. Like that's the first thing he tells Armin. Like, why would I want to leave? My whole family's here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so those are two very sensitive topics for him. And the first time he wakes up, he instantly starts crying. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. All his sleeps where he feels like he's woken up for a long dream are all related to really intense emotions he feels about something.
Yeah. Like they have to be significantly emotional for him to like go through
Yeah.
the process of waking up. Yeah. Okay.
Um,
That's volume.
that's volume three. Uh,
What do we think of that?
I'd like to ask you that first. What do you think of that? Because I know we obviously started this episode with the contention that this volume's kind of a snooze fest. So
I feel like now that we actually got to properly discuss it and everyone's not sleepy. um
everyone, yeah.
I feel like volume 1 and
Okay.
volume 2 were so dedicated to the world building and for us to learn more about this whole scenario that it allowed volume 3 to actually take a step back, add some elements that make us wonder why, how.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why, like, I'd say out of like the three, this episode probably has like the best like conspiracy theories for now.
Eren is Jesus.
Eren is Jesus, the bald man, full
Can I
stop.
just can I just sing it again? Can I just sing it again for the
Yeah,
episode?
okay, go on
Okay.
then.
Bodie, Bodie, over there. What's it like to have no air? Is it hot or is it cold? I don't know, cause I'm not bold. How'd I do?
Yeah, you did very well. I love it.
Thank you.
You're gonna need to
Thank you.
send me a
I
recording of that so I can make it my like alarm ringtone.
You're gonna wake up to like at 6 in the morning to
I'm just
me
gonna
singing Bodie
panic and
Bodie
see if
over
my hair's still there.
there. Yeah. Yeah. I'll send you one.
But yeah, like I think this volume, it's very unassuming at first. Definitely,
Yeah.
we like underestimated its potential, but I feel like
Yeah.
there's just like these little subtleties that once you kind of like give yourself time to like look at, which is kind of different from like the reading experience for other mangas. Usually, it's kind of like a clear
Yeah.
cut. Here's what's happening, so it's quite nice. Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those like you know how in school you're told to like, oh, we're gonna be reading like Lord of the Flies, for example. The first time you read it, you're like, oh, dude, what the fuck are we even gonna analyze in this? It's like such a basic story. It's like, yeah, it's a story about people surviving on an island. But then once you actually like sit down and you get to like discuss it and kind of mull it over with someone, that yeah, as you said, there's like a lot of very nice subtleties, and I think those subtleties can only exist given that volume one and two kind of do the heavy lifting of like, oh, this is what civilization looks like. This is what the different Titan classes are. This is what like the kind of social hierarchy of people is, and then volume three comes in, and you get to ask people, or you get to ask yourself questions like, what role does Eren's body play in being part of the Titan, or like, how does Commander Pixis come into this whole like culling idea, and like, is the culling a more direct approach or a more subtle approach, stuff like that, which is really cool. I still don't think it's my favorite volume though, so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, like I feel like it's a great volume for discussion, but yeah, like not the best volume out there. But I can see how it serves a
Yeah,
purpose. Like not every
yeah.
volume is gonna have the action pack or like all the answers to the theories.
Yeah, or like massive lore drops or like a new character introduction. I think I already said this. My MVP is Pixis. I would like to give two honorable mentions though. Um, my first honorable mention goes to Sasha, um, or as I like to call her, Sasha, my tummy hurt brows, because that's a full name to me now.
Yeah.
And the second honorable mention goes to the character we actually first see in this chapter, chapter 13, which is Ian. I think he's
Ooh.
an absolute G. He's kind of like the squad leader who's meant to protect Eren, and I absolutely love his sentiment of like, well, if we don't fight, who will? It kind of shows Commander Pixis's words in like a more positive light. Um, like how Commander Pixis like threatens people. He's like, oh yeah, if you don't fight, your family will. That's like a really depressing way to look at it, but the way Ian says it, it's a bit more positive. It's like, if we don't fight, who will? Like we're all that's left.
Yeah.
So he gets a honorable mention. How about you?
You know what? I This is the episode where I apologize to Armin for being
Oh.
a bully to him. No, I feel like Armin's so unassuming like in the first two volumes, but he really gets to shine here,
Mhm.
which I really like. And I always really like the the smart characters, and he has like a small, like, if you notice, I think he had like a pretty clear and unique role in almost like every chapter in this volume. So like behind the
Yeah.
scenes he's always been doing his little stuff, and like I really like that character development about like, have I really been you know have I really just been burdening my friends to actually like, oh, I've actually been of help to them kind of pipeline.
Yeah, like they rely on me.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah,
this is like there's synergy here instead of just like me being a parasite. I really like that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And did you have any honorable mentions or LVP?
Not really an LVP. As for honorable mentions, not really an honorable mention. I just really like that Hans kind of linked back to what we said in a previous episode. I just found a lot of validation with that.
Yeah. I like the little sassy like point down, like pay attention that Eren does to Hans.
Mm.
I love that for him. But yeah, that was episode 3, volume 3.
I'm so excited for the
Um
next one. I will literally start reading tomorrow.
but I am also really excited for volume 4.
Yeah.
Next episode is obviously volume 4, which is chapters 15 to 18. Thank you for listening. This has been Shinsōban, your little book club on the internet. And we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye bye.